Hello, everybody.
Are we back? Hopefully.
Hopefully you can hear us now. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Shouts out to G's mama for helping us out and pointing out that we didn't have any audio for those first 30 or so minutes.
Audio is important in a radio broadcast.
Just a little bit. It's a little important. Somewhat, some would say kind of important.
But
AV. I think the radio people still heard us. So shouts out. If you're on the radio, you could definitely still hear us. I think it was all the people on video who missed out a little bit, and we apologize. So if you want to rewatch that video of us just mouthing words for about 30 minutes, you missed a great conversation. For all you on the radio, you got to hear it. So you're in luck with that one.
You all can guess what we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can take some guesses as to what we were talking about. Make some memes if you want. Send us your favorite memes if you can. So now we'll move on in our conversation because we already talked about what we talked about. And if you guys missed it, we're really sorry. But
you missed the $1 million conversation.
You missed a very good conversation indeed. But now we're going to talk some NBA playoffs, some hoops, some basketball action. So right now, actually, let's check the score. The Bucks and the Nets are playing Game 6 in Milwaukee, and the Bucks are up 6 with about 3 minutes left in the first half. Okay, James Harden is playing. I can see through there. Okay, I wasn't sure if James Harden was playing tonight, but Game 5 was the I don't want to say coming out party for Kevin Durant, but it was another game that made people realize how great he actually is.
His welcome back moment, almost.
And there have been, it's like a welcome back kind of thing because he was really on his own that whole game. Like Harden wasn't really playing that much and wasn't no one else really helping him. And so he just kind of took over, and what was it, 49, 17, and 10 or something like that.
Sure. Yep.
And I tweeted this out. One of the other games in this round against the Bucks, where Kevin Durant is my favorite basketball player to watch. I think ever since he's come into the league, at his size and his length, for him to be able to score anywhere he wants on the floor at any time is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
He'll take you from 2 feet out. He'll take you from 30 feet out. The guard skills he has as a 7-footer is ridiculous to me. And when he shoots, like it's literally like on the level of the rim. Like
Yeah.
it's almost at 10 feet when he gets up to here. So to watch him play basketball, I think he's one of my favorite. He's probably one of my favorite players to watch in the history of basketball. Just the way that he's able to score anywhere, anytime, and and even as he's gotten older, he's gone more of a don't give an F attitude, where now he's won the rings and people will still be like, oh, you won those with the Warriors. He doesn't care. He won both finals MVPs. Why would that matter to his legacy? He's like, I was the one who won these MVPs. Like, sure, I joined to 73 and 19, but we won back-to-backs in my 2 years there. So what else did you want from us? Like, we did the best we could in those situations. And then I wanted to bring myself a new challenge by going to the East, because he didn't want to be in the same league as LeBron. I don't blame him.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's been a good series so far, and I just love watching Kevin Durant. Just love him.
I was telling Doc at the studio, because we were talking about the game and stuff. I was like, bro, in order for the Nets to win, KD has to have a LeBron-esque game. He has to have 48 and 8 minimum. And I was like, yo, he actually did it, bro. Like, he actually did it. And they barely won. They barely won. He had to get a damn near 50-point triple-double to win. I mean, but kudos to him, man, because if he had an off game and, they end up losing at home, like, he would have been getting a lot of flack, because people have been like, oh, well, LeBron did everything in his might to try to, get his team to victory, get to the finals, yada, yada, yada. So now it's, and it literally was. I was saying, like, bro, this is KD's moment. Like, KD, in this moment right here before this Game 5, has to step up. He has to step up, because it doesn't matter that Kyrie's out. It doesn't matter that James Harden is, not 100%. This is your moment. You've been injured the past year and a half. You're finally good. You have the possibility to go up 3-2. You're on your home court. Like, all the chips are in your hands right now, and you have to seize the moment. And he did, And I think that was the biggest game of his career. I mean, I think
absolutely a career-defining moment.
Absolutely, I think his 2 Finals MVPs are great, and both those Game 3, winners or whatever, or Game 4 or whatever. But no, man, I think in terms of, like, his legacy and what he'll be, like, remembered for, like, this is going to be one of those moments for sure, because it was on his merit. This was the first game, I feel like, in a long time that the ball club that he was on that won that game, like, it was on him, because with the Warriors, man, you had Clay, you had Steph, you had Draymond, you had Iggy, you had this whole team set up. And trust me, I was super happy to have KD on the squad, but even myself, it was kind of like, like, I feel like we're stealing championships here, which, hey, we'll take them, but yeah, I mean, good for KD for sure. So exciting game.
Yeah, and I actually had a similar conversation that morning when I was having some moving guys help me move into my new apartment. We were talking basketball, and he was like, man, I want the Bucks to win. He's like, I want the Bucks to win. I want someone different to win. And I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I don't know, man. KD and Harden, like, how do you go against that? He's like, yeah, Harden's broken. Kyrie's not playing. Like, KD's not gonna do it. I was like, yeah, KD's gonna need to drop 50 if he wants to win tonight. And then, like you said, he went out there 49, 17, and 10, just to shove it in everyone's face. And it really was a career-defining moment, because when you lose one of your top scorers and the other one's basically a shell of himself, not really able to do what he normally does. He put the team on his shoulders at home to avoid going down 3-2 back to Milwaukee and have the advantage of being up a game when you go back to Milwaukee, and in case there's a Game 7 on, what's today, Thursday? On Saturday?
Yeah. Excuse me.
That'll be a heck of a game. And if it gets there, that game's in the middle of progress right now, so the Nets could finish it tonight. But yeah, Kevin Durant is finally, or I guess not finally, but watching him take over a basketball game is so much fun to me, and And I'm mad I didn't get to watch any of that game because I was playing softball, but I watched the highlights, and every time he shoots, of course, highlight videos are only going to show makes. But even then, like, some of the shots are just like, how did that go in? Like,
he was only making every shot I saw.
I saw every basket. He was perfect. But it's just so, even some of the shots he's taking, I was like, shouldn't he pass that up? And it's like, nope, don't matter. Don't care.
I'm shooting it.
I'm shooting it. He was on one of those, he was just in one of those mindsets that he was not going to let anything stop him.
Yeah. No, he had to, man, for sure. And with, LeBron got bounced in the first round, he was like, oh, yeah. Kawhi's injured right now. It's like, yeah, oh, yeah, this is my moment. I gotta take over. And, hey, man, now, with all these teams injured, everybody's got at least one star that's, injured or COVID protocols, whatever. It's wide open. It's wide open. So anybody could take this championship right now. And, man, it's just like, I'm super salty about Chris Paul, bro. That's a big...
Good
it's like,
transition.
Come on, dog. Like, I mean, we don't know what happened. We may never know, like, what the cause or how he got it or whatever. But it's just like, come on.
They
man.
were very lucky that they have somewhat of a break before their next series. Because if he does, I don't know how the dates would line up exactly, but if he does only have to be in there for the 10 days, he may only miss like 1 or 2 games from the conference finals. Yeah. They lucked out with the timing of it. I know it still stinks, and like with everything going on, and that's tough that he has to sit out for 10 or 14 days no matter what. Or 10 to 14 days. And that puts the Suns in a really tough position because sure, Devin Booker's becoming an all-NBA talent and one of the best scorers in the league. And sure, DeAndre Ayton and all those guys, they're having a great year as a team. Yeah. But without the point guard on their side, they're going to have a tough time with either the Clippers or the Jazz.
Bro, and it's like, what if, and this is God forbid, what if like he got other players on the team sick, like what if he got the whole team's, one airplane ride, right? You feel me? They're all happy after game 4 and everything. They're all hugging, there's that image of him hugging Monty Williams. I'm like, who, when they got to contact trace this, bro. I mean, and it doesn't seem like, I think they're all right at this point. Nothing else has come out. But, like I remember people saying in the beginning of the season, like, God forbid you have a team, that's rolling. They're doing really well. They're on their way to a conference finals, to the finals, whatever. And then, boom, they get hit with the COVID protocols. So, man, it sucks for CP3. I'm sure he'll be fine. It sucks for just a crappy situation overall. It sucks for the Suns, but... Man, it's just like for him, to be here right back where you want to be, Western Conference Finals, like you beat the Lakers, you beat the MVP,
swept the MVP, swept them,
and it's just like this is your moment, like who's gonna beat you, and again it's Chris Paul beats himself, and like you said, they gotta hope that this series goes to Game 7 and prolongs as long as possible. I think realistically he'll probably miss first couple games, and I think
the NBA loves to space out their games too. If they put like 2 days in between one of those couple, he might only miss 2. Who knows?
Yeah, and I think they can. I think they can afford to lose at least 1. And either way, they still have a lot of talent. They're riding high.
They're the 2 seed, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so depending on who wins the next round, the Jazz or the Clippers.
But I mean,
could be home games.
Kawhi's injured. Kawhi's injured, and then Mike Conley's injured for the Jazz. So I don't know. We'll see.
Did you see that this is like the record for the most All-Stars that have missed playoff games?
Really? No,
it's like 7, or I think it's at least 7. It might go to 8 or something like that. Like at least out of all the teams to make it for all their All-Stars, 7 guys have missed games or missed, and it's insane. And because people might blame the shortest offseason in league history. Some might blame the tough fitting that 72 games in after having the shortest offseason in history. And even LeBron came out and had a statement the other night. He was tweeted like 3 or 4 things about like how the players' health wasn't taking a priority this year. And it's funny, the 4 teams that were the last 4 teams remaining from last year are all eliminated now. They're all done. The Nuggets were the last team to survive from the conference finals of
The Final Four NBA.
when was that, September?
Yeah.
Early September, kind of.
Yeah.
Whenever that was. Those 4 teams are all gone now because they had the shortest off seasons of anyone. So it's and it seems like a lot of players are reflecting on that, and with the whole CP3 thing, you know what could have saved this problem if he got a vaccine. He might not have been on that list.
So
Now,
did he not get a vaccine? Like,
I don't know. See, like that's why I'm just speculating now.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Chris Paul, are you vaccinated, sir?
CP3, don't kill me. Like, I'm just speculating. I don't have any idea, and we don't know. Like, that's the thing. We don't know if these guys are like some play, like baseball players have been coming out and saying if they're vaccinated, or some of them have, but like basketball players, who knows? Like during the whole midst of the season, and especially like a playoff race, like maybe you don't want that, and then like you have to be bedridden for a day or two, and then who knows? Like it could be a week, and like everyone has their own. If you don't want to get it, that's fine. That's on you.
It's a personal choice.
Yeah, it's a personal choice. Sure, it's a personal choice. If you want to make it personal, it's really about whatever. I don't want to get into that. But every person has a right to their own choice on this, and of course, they do. And I would think that if he was vaccinated, then he wouldn't have to have gone into the COVID protocols.
Right.
But could he have been vaccinated and still gotten it? Sure. Is that possible? I think so.
Yeah. No, there's people that are definitely getting COVID after they've been vaccinated. So I mean, it's definitely a real thing. It's just we don't know, and it kind of sucks that they're not being 100% transparent on the matter. But again, it's just part of the times that we're living in. It's just another layer that we have to be cautious and careful of, and especially these NBA players, they're traveling and they're doing all this, and it makes you think in terms of the Olympics, that are coming up next month.
Yes, very true.
Like you've got all these athletes coming from
all over
the world. You don't know who's vaccinated. Every country is different in terms of how they're handling the situation, the type of resources that they have.
That's it. I didn't even think about the Olympics. That's a good point.
The amount of vaccines, and then that's just for the players. That's just for the people participating. Then you have all the spectators and fans and whatnot. And I think they're planning on maybe doing half. I don't know exactly. I think they're still trying to figure it out, but I don't know, man. I mean, I'm very excited. I love the Olympics, but I'm also a little concerned in terms of I think at this point, we have enough experience with COVID to kind of know how to mitigate it, but still, it's still new enough where, this is the first super big international event, it seems, since everything popped off. So it'll be a test for sure. It'll be a test.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about the Olympics when it comes to that'll be a huge test to see how we handle worldwide events, and there might not be as many people. They might not even allow as many people to travel into the city, or I don't know how you can restrict travel. I guess you can because they did it last year. I just mean how can they stop so many people from coming into Japan for all the Olympic Games?
Or is it in terms of because
is it Tokyo? Yeah, because they do cities.
Yeah,
Tokyo, but Tokyo already is one of the biggest cities in the world.
Right.
Imagine in a normal Olympics pre-COVID, all whatever of how many people would go there, not just from outside but also from Japan. Just all go in there and from the local region. So many people far and wide travel for the Olympics. So I'm really curious as to if they're going to allow as many fans, or if they're going to make athletes have to be vaccinated if they want to participate. How does that go down with those sort of regulations and rules, and will players not be able to participate if they don't get the vaccine? How does that like you said, it is going to be a real test to see how the world as a whole has handled COVID. Because sure, every country has had their problems, and some are doing better than others. Some opened earlier than others, but there's going to be people from every continent, almost every country, from all over, coming into this one major city, one of the biggest cities in the world, that could be really bad if things go haywire. But I'm very optimistic that it'll work, because I don't think they would want to push on with it if they didn't feel confident in their abilities to handle an event of this magnitude.
Absolutely. And I think we're, deep enough in this process that has been the COVID-19 pandemic. Like I said, where I think we understand it more, and it's just going to take extra precautions, and it's going to take everybody working together just to facilitate it all, because if everybody's just as the world has been the past year and a half, just doing their own thing, and every country just trying to figure it out. You can have one country coming in, totally. They could all, you could have a whole whatever volleyball team coming in. They're all sick. They don't even know it. And then boom, get the whole Olympics sick. And then boom, everybody goes back and starts a whole new pandemic. That's worst case scenario. So it's just as long as everybody works together and is in good contact in terms of communication, in terms of all the committees, I think it'll be all right. And personally, I really want the Olympics to happen because
absolutely, me too.
I think they're awesome just in general. I love the cohesiveness of the world.
That's my water bottle. It's okay. It's empty.
The studio's falling apart. No, it's all fine and dandy here. I think the world needs the Olympics for sure on a positive standpoint, just to give something to bring us all together, and I don't know, man, show that we can be united for even at least a couple of weeks, So it's gonna take time, and I'm excited. I hope it all pans out, and I hope everybody just does the right thing. But we'll see for sure.
Because what's currently going on is UEFA Euros, the European Championships for soccer. But what they're doing is, instead of usually they have a host country or host city. I think it's host country. But instead they're just spreading out and letting multiple different countries host, because they don't want to have fans traveling from all over and that kind of thing, and teams continuously traveling. So
quit coughing in my hot dog.
Not as much. Not as large scale as the Olympics, of course, but is the first. It is kind of like an international event that we can see how it works. It's not going to be as big, and it's more spread out. Like I said, it's all over Europe this year instead of being in a certain country.
Right.
Where the Olympics are in the Tokyo or greater Tokyo area, like everything's going to be in that area, or at least within a hour drive or however far away.
Quit coughing on my hot dog.
There's so many noises coming out.
So many noises, so many different
hot
areas.
dogs.
Hot dogs. It was the hot dogs. Blame it on the hot dogs, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't even eat a hot dog.
What the hell were you eating, BossDan?
But actually, speaking of Olympics, did you hear what? I had a little bit of pizza.
Pizza.
You hear what LeBron said when someone asked him about doing the Olympics?
No, what did he say?
He said that I'm putting my focus on another team this year, the Toon Squad. In reference to the new
LeBron.
Space Jam movie.
I mean, I'm very super excited, but shut up, LeBron.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it absolutely. But I can already tell that movie's gonna be memed to death.
Oh my goodness,
people are gonna get screen grabs and clips and whatever else, and just meme the crap out of it. Just meme them.
Put your stock money into
some NFTs in Space Jam. Put them in. Put your stocks in.
I'm excited though. That's gonna be fun. That talk about nostalgic feelings with that one, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting, and it's the poor guy just loves to follow up Jordan and try to compare himself to Jordan as much as he can with this Space Jam. If we didn't already compare him to Jordan enough, we literally have to compare their movie careers now. That's going to be a thing.
Absolutely.
So that's just going to be another great debate for everyone. And you're going to be like, oh, it's a different era of movie making. LeBron had so much CGI that Jordan didn't have. That's going to be a great conversation.
But Jordan was such a greater actor overall.
His commitment to the screen. You really felt him talking to Bugs Bunny there. LeBron just looks like he's talking to no one. People are going to find random reasons to pick at each other.
Bill Murray was better than Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle's like the enemy, right? He's like he's like the monster, whatever the enemy is. It's still kind of hard to tell. He's like the super web or something. I don't know.
I guess we have to find out.
Yeah, I gotta see whatever date that is. No free ads. Will not. Space Jam: A New Legacy, I think it's called, coming out on July, sometime this summer. Coming to you. in theaters and to those on HBO Max, because
Coming
they're
to
doing that now.
Brand new open AMC theaters after a hectic year.
Did you going to that? You see AMC's offering investors like free popcorn and stuff.
Yeah.
So funny.
I've got $300,000 of stock. I demand a free popcorn now. Can you open up your Robinhood account, please?
Literally, they're gonna have people like, "Can you open up your stock market trading app, TD Ameritrade or E-Trade or whatever you use, and just show us your stock?"
Well, I'm a Robinhood trader, and I can show you that.
It's so funny to just. You have to train. The funniest part is going to be having to train teenage kids. All right, now if people claim that they're an investor, make sure they pull up the app and show in real time their stock value. That's going to be.
You're not valuable enough for that popcorn.
You didn't earn that popcorn, sir.
You don't hold enough stock at all.
It looks like you bought and sold within a couple of days. Get out of here.
You don't deserve
Go to
our
Regal
popcorn.
Cinemas if you want to watch a movie, punk. You don't believe in what we stand for.
Enjoy the dry popcorn and the watered down Coca-Cola.
We gave you the
products.
worst seat in the theater, the front row corner.
And we installed this pole in front of it just for you.
Just for you. Literally just to piss you off.
Thanks, AMC.
Wow. Thanks, AMC.
Yeah, but anything to get people back in the building, right?
I'm excited to get back to the movies this summer for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm first movie I'm gonna see. It's probably gonna be between that or Black Widow. I'm waiting for that next Marvel movie.
Yes, Black Widow's gonna be sweet.
Mm-hmm. Have you caught up in any of the Marvel Plus shows?
I didn't watch the recent episode of Loki because I still don't have Wi-Fi. So I watched the first episode last week, which was really good. Did you watch the first episode of Loki?
I have not seen WandaVision, bro.
Oh, bro,
I'm way behind.
dude, watch it. They're really good.
I have nothing against it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I
definitely recommend those shows. As a Marvel fan, you definitely appreciate it, and to see them to go in this direction instead of what they've previously done, it's cool because instead of trying to make shows that go like season after season after season, they're literally setting up 4 movies. They're setting up WandaVision for like the new Doctor Strange. They're setting up Falcon Winter Soldier for a new Cap movie or something like that. They're gonna set up the Loki movie or the Loki show. I actually don't know what Loki's setting up for, but from the first episode, it was really good. So, they've done really well with that, and I think I honestly think without the success of The Mandalorian, I don't think Marvel would have been as so gung-ho about their shows as they were, because they already had to push them back in general because of everything that happened, like they couldn't film for a while because of COVID and all that stuff. But with the success of Mandalorian and how people were able to draw so much attachment to that show as soon as it was released, being Disney Plus's first exclusive show, Marvel saw that and tried to mimic that in their own way.
Cha-ching!
And they've done a good job so far. And now both Disney and Marvel have like 10 plus shows planned for Disney Plus, something ridiculous. Whether they are multiple seasons or miniseries, like either way, suckers like me will eat up the content no matter what they make. So if they keep making it, I'll keep eating it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's good content for sure, and especially after the all the Avengers movies, and I mean just the whole Infinity Saga. It was awesome. It was dope, and people will hate, say this, that, or whatever, say it's, I don't know, man. Like in the era of remakes that was the 2010s, I think Marvel did it right. You feel me? Like Marvel did it right, and I mean they didn't remake anything, but they're just bringing their comic books to life. But man, it's exciting because now there's a whole new, and I was wondering too, man, after Avengers Endgame, I'm like, bro, like how do you top this, dog? Like this is too you did everything you could possibly do at the current moment.
That's why I think it was honestly a blessing. I mean, Spider-Man came out right after that, but Spider-Man was like part of phase 3, I guess, or I guess Black Widow is too, but I think it was good that they kind of had some sort of time or some sort of break to kind of, because
let it breathe.
Exactly. Like let those emotions, let that story, kind of breathe. They really go in depth about who the characters are and make it more grounded. That's a very good point. You learn a lot. That's what's so cool about these shows is they focus on the characters who have never gotten their own stuff before, so you haven't really learned too much about them and like what their backstories is. Like WandaVision, you learn a lot more about Wanda and like how she grew up in Sokovia and like what happened to her parents and things like that. Watch out for that
Ouch!
mic.
This mic was
in Falcon Winter Soldier, you learn a lot about Sam Wilson's past and Bucky struggles with his own mental like stability. And Loki, I'm only one episode in, but the perspective for there is really cool because it literally takes place right after Endgame. So you know how in Endgame Loki just like grabs the Tesseract and is like skirt. It literally like pops you in right there. So like that's cool, super cool to see him be able to step back into 2012 Loki's shoes. And Tom Hiddleston is phenomenal is a phenomenal actor, so he can do that so easily and put himself into those shoes again. Has been really awesome to watch, and I definitely recommend watching those if you do.
Yeah, I gotta catch up for sure. I had one question for you though, bro. You mentioned something that I was unfamiliar with. What's COVID, bro?
How much time you got? It all started in December of 2019.
On a fateful day.
There was a lab in Wuhan, China.
And a very pesky bat.
And a very pesky bat. Someone was hungry for bats and just wanted to eat a bat.
Chow down on that sucker. What should we name him? Sparky. Poor Sparky. What if that's messed up, bro. What if literally it was just one guy and he was just hungry and he was just like, man, I want to chow down on some bat soup.
And then he just sneezed all over his friends. And then it just spread like wildfire. That'd be nuts.
That's why we're laughing about. Oh my gosh, bro. Like, damn. How did we get to this?
But it stinks when I hinted earlier that Space Jam's also gonna be on HBO Max. Like this past year, COVID like almost destroyed movie theaters, like as we know them.
We were thinking, we're never gonna see a movie.
I was like so afraid that movie theaters weren't gonna exist anymore because I love going to the movies. It's one of my favorite experiences. Like some movies need to be seen in theaters.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm watching movies that I haven't seen before, and I'm thinking like, dang, I wish I saw that in the theaters because that would have been so cool in the theaters. Like with like just like the massive the multiple like foot long screen or however big they are versus your 40-inch television and the surround sound in there, because some of those movies like need to be some movies are meant for movie theaters and not meant for your small television screens or your phone. I saw a guy on my flight. Where was I going? I was coming back here from Florida, and I saw a dude watching the new Mortal Kombat movie on his phone. And like that's where I was just like, oh man, like that's not how you're supposed to consume it. And like I get watching a movie on your phone if you've seen it numerous times and you're just watching it to pass time. Right. But if you're watching something for the first time and it's a new movie, like there's no experience that beats the movie theater.
Absolutely.
Like that's what it's meant for. And I'm so glad that the AMC stock became a meme and that some people saved AMC like over a meme.
Literally.
Because like literally over a meme stock or whatever they wanted to call it, trolling Wall Street Bets or whatever the Reddit account was that set it off. But I'm really glad that happened because AMC, I was an AMC Stubs member. I canceled it for the time because obviously you couldn't go to the movies. Right. But I'm excited to get that back going because I want to go to the movie theaters a lot in this summer to see things come back and to be part of that experience again of being inside the theaters.
Absolutely, man. No, there's nothing like it, man. And my mom and I, we used to go to a lot of movies, bro. So I could definitely feel that, there's just something special about going to the movies and I don't know, man, especially if you can appreciate movies and just art. And because I don't know, bro, I think a lot of people, I mean, we're media creators and we're media consumers. And I realize, like part of the reason why I got into filming slowly but surely is just because I love, screen stuff. I love movies. I love cartoons, I was talking to my cousin, both my cousins, both down in Texas, and we've always just been into cartoons ever since we were kids, man. We would just always watch cartoons and kind of be drawing and voicing stuff. My older cousin and I had a couple videos on on YouTube. We used to be on Gary's Mod.
Gary's Mod. Oh yeah. I'm familiar with Gary's Mod.
Yeah, my cousin used to be like doing all the animation, and we would be doing the voices and stuff. And yeah, man, it's just like
Gary's Mod.
Stuff's awesome, bro.
Oh, that was a trigger. That was
Gary
a
Mod-
heck
Gary's-
of a trigger. Wow.
Gary's Mod was busting,
Wow.
bro.
Yeah. Those were like early YouTube. Like
Uh-huh.
there's so many Gary's Mod videos. Oh my gosh,
Absolutely.
that's so funny.
Did I ever? I think I've showed you our videos now.
I think you showed me a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, we only had like 2 of them.
I think you showed me one of them for sure.
Yeah, and it's funny, bro, because we were just messing around. I didn't think anything of it at the time, you know. And then just as we got older, and obviously life things happen, and it's just like, damn. And especially like myself now, doing what I'm doing, you know, it was just weird to be like, damn, like we were that young, you know, like making that kind of content, you know, not thinking about it. And then it's like, eventually we're hoping to like make a career out of it, which would be super dope, you know, God willing in time. But yeah, man, I don't know. In terms of movies, bro, I think like when you're a media creator of any sort, and I don't know, you can just appreciate the art of making a movie, and then understanding even more like the difference between being on that big screen for the first time. Like there's nothing like seeing a Star Wars movie for the first time in the big theaters, bro. You can't watch a new Marvel movie or a new Avatar, or, you know, one of those just crazy CGI looking movies or whatever. You can't watch that on your phone, bro.
No.
You know, like you gotta, they're made for that experience. The huge audio and just
Yeah, the way the sound is exploding and like the way that sounds hit you are meant for movie theaters, and you can tell that like when in some of the movies you watch, like if you have just like the speakers from your television, it doesn't sound the same as if you have like or surround sound, or even like the theater's surround sound, Dolby or whatever they are. Like that stuff is like there to wake you up and get you feeling right you're in the movies, versus like your phone where you just have your headphones in and you're just like staring at the small screen, just like trying to see what happens. And like have to zoom in because, you know, it's like, is that green or is that black? I can't tell. Like, is that blue or navy? Like,
you gotta go for the full experience, you know, like you gotta be sucked into the movie.
Yes, Ped, absolutely. We should definitely see Black Widow in theaters. I agree. We will definitely make that happen, because that would be a great one to see as the comes back. What date? What date is that?
So I want to say sometime in July.
I want to say July 9th.
He might be right. He might be right, ladies and gentlemen.
Widow movie. Black Widow.
He's
Yep,
looking
in
it up.
theaters July 9th.
Look at Boss Dan, knowing the answers. That's us over here on Northside Plugged. We just know all the answers.
You know it. Bang.
Bang!
Bang, bang.
Mike Breen.
Can't wait.
Dan Breen.
Bang. Puts it in. Oh,
how's
puts
our-
it in.
11-point game. All
Yep,
right.
Bucks up 11 halfway through the third.
Bucks ain't trying to go home.
No, sir. Let's see what the box score is. What's Kevin Durant at? 15, 7-16. My man's taking more shots than anyone. Double.
Giannis.
See, James
got a
Harden's
nice
5 of
21.
7, though. He's playing 27 minutes. So he must be
14.
feeling better.
Yeah. I mean, he's you know, he may be injured, but crazy talent,
Still,
bro.
yeah,
You know?
he's still James Harden. He's still an MVP of the league. So you got to give credit where credit's due. Or you got to... Yeah, Giannis 9 for 11. He's not happy. He doesn't want to lose.
14 rebounds, too. He's already got a double-double. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's not going home tonight. He wants to bring it back to
He
Brooklyn.
can't lose this game, bro. He's gonna get too much flack. Like, he loses a game, he loses a series, and he's gonna get a lot of crap. You know?
Yeah.
Come on, dog. You gotta level up, man. Especially with that, you know, free throw shooting, and I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of growth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a great player. I mean, obviously
Multiple MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. He's won the awards.
and that's why he's been getting a lot of flag, bro. How are you the defensive player 2 times in a row and you're not guarding Kevin Durant? Dog?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Yeah, how are you not guarding Kevin Durant? And the video, like the game I watched, I don't remember what game it was. It was either game 3 or 4 because it was in Milwaukee. But he tried to take like Blake Griffin off the dribble or something from the top of the key. You know what I'm talking about? And it was just like, oh my goodness. And then there was memes coming out that literally Mike Budenholzer's playbook with Giannis is just halfback dive, where he just like runs it down the middle. Because to be fair, my man still doesn't have a jump shot. Not really.
But it's like, come on, bro. You could He does though, bro. He definitely
kind of does.
In that moment right there, bro. He could have easily just stepped back.
A 15-footer.
Like
You're like a 15-footer. Yeah, I'll give him that.
If you brick it, you brick it.
But if he what the game the other night, he was like 1 of 10 from 3. Like why are you taking 10 threes tonight? 0 threes. That's how it should be. You shouldn't have to take double-digit threes.
Yeah.
Like ever. That's not who you are. Like know your game, bro. Know your game. Like, let's see this other night. I feel like he shot like 53s.
I think when you're just like you're huge like
2
that.
of 4. Okay, so but there were one of the games that they lost. He shot like 10 threes.
Yeah, his arm, bro. Imagine how big his wingspan is. His arms are like just huge in terms of strength, bro. I feel like he's almost imbalanced, you know. And there's probably just
too much muscle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I think that's possible. You know, that's why a lot of these
it's a good point.
These big men suck at free throws, man, because and
they can't get their arms close enough because they're just so muscular. They literally can't put their elbows in because their biceps are too large to get their elbows in tight like they're supposed to.
And then
that's tall. A good point. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
They're tall, so they're more level and everything with the rim, you know, and they have so much strength where it's just like I feel like it's too easy for them. Like I think anybody in the NBA can make 9 out of 10 free throws if they really wanted to, you know. But it's like you have all that strength, and like you said, like your positioning is probably weird. And then like I'm thinking of Ben Simmons, bro. I mean, his shot is already off, but it's like I don't understand, you know. But then like Rajon Rondo, Kawhi Leonard, you know, these players like just big hands, you know. It's hard for them to
properly grip a basketball.
No, they could grip it.
Well, not
really
grip
well,
it, but probably shoot it.
Probably grip it too well, where it just like throws off.
It's hard to
shot.
it's hard to roll off the fingers normally.
Inconsistent, you know, because I mean, obviously I'm not as big, but I've always had bigger hands than like is probably normal for my body, right? So I feel like a lot of times that's been like a reason as to why sometimes my shot can be inconsistent because like my placement on how I hold the ball is sometimes like too strong, if that makes sense. So I can kind of feel what they're saying, what they might be dealing with. But yeah, man, I think it just whenever Giannis shoots, bro, he just looks super awkward. You know,
it doesn't look comfortable when he shoots a jump shot.
He's thinking about it, you know.
Yeah, he's thinking about it too much. You kind of just gotta shoot it, or you gotta like, he's gotta work on like, I guess like floaters would look weird for a 7-foot man, but like he's just gotta get in the post. Like you literally gotta go on the block, put your butt into your man. Put your hand up and say, Chris, Drew, Brooke, Pat, whoever it is, put the ball in my hand. Let me go to work.
Yeah. Bum, he's just a weird player, like,
he's unique. He's a Greek freak. He's very unique, and that's what people love about him, and that's why he's won MVPs is because he's that unique and he's just different than what we've seen before. So he is a lot of fun to watch, and I do hope they go to a Game 7 because that would be a phenomenal game to watch on Saturday night. Absolutely. So I do hope they get to a Game 7 tonight. But we hinted at it quickly there. We didn't talk about that. Ben Simmons, the Sixers and Hawks series.
Yikes for the Sixers.
Last night.
Yikes.
Oh, yikes. They were up 26 in the third quarter. According to ESPN's win percentage, they had a 99.6% chance of winning the game. And the Hawks snuck out there with a win.
That's crazy, bro. Especially after
Trae Young.
Doc Rivers, bro.
Oh,
what are you doing, Doc?
My boy Doc. Ugh.
What are you doing over there, Doc? I mean, mind you, you know what's his name? Joel Embiid is injured, and I'm gonna get, as a somewhat Sixers fan, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt of a Joel Embiid injury, but there's no excuse on Ben Simmons' part, bro. He's missing too many free throws. He's not being aggressive enough.
He doesn't shoot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
In the past 2 games, he hasn't attempted a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Come on, bro.
You're an all NBA talent, all defensive team. You were borderline defensive player of the year. You have to be somewhat of an offensive. Threat. Like they're literally going to hack you to go to the free throw line, and you can't shoot the ball outside of the paint. Like that's bad. That's not good. Like you can't be the number 2 guy on a team and literally be a liability on one end of the floor.
Literally.
Like sure, you're an all-league defender. That's great. There are plenty of all-league defenders who aren't the number 1 guys on their team, or like the number 2 guys expected to score when their number 1 guy is going through injuries or having a lot of fatigue issues because he's been playing so many minutes all season.
Yeah.
It just really surprises me that he still hasn't figured it out, like a jump shot.
I agree.
It's just baffling.
Awkward, you know. He just,
yeah, because he doesn't know what hand to shoot with. Apparently, he shoots his free throws with his right hand or something like that, and he's a left, and he claims he's a lefty, or it just looks awkward. Like the man can't figure it out. The poor guy, like I don't want to call him poor guy because
poor guy, he's making millions of dollars.
Yeah, he's making tens of millions of dollars.
Can't make a free throw.
The poor guy lost Kendall Jenner though to a real shooter in Devin Booker.
Yeah, boy.
But
shooters.
Do you think after a loss like that, like the Sixers had last night, is there a chance? I mean, they're the number 1 seed, so clearly they have the talent and it's their like. If they win Game 7, they'll make up for that loss.
Right.
But if they lose in Atlanta tomorrow or Saturday, whenever they play, the process is literally gonna look like the worst. Like we were told for so many years to trust the process. They tank for so many years to get these top talents.
Then Atlanta comes out of nowhere.
And Atlanta comes out of here with they traded up to take Trae Young. And they got Clint Capella and this other cast of characters they got, and they're gonna beat you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, like you got to give Atlanta some credit. You know,
absolutely.
They're playing really well. They played a great series against New York, you know, and now they're like Trae Young said, they just keep fighting, you know, and I think it's interesting, you know, like there's all this talk about Luka, you know, and then you got Trae Young over here, a game away from the conference finals, you know, nothing to take away from Luka, but it's just like, you know, the Hawks did a great job in terms of building a team around Trae Young. I mean, wow, you know, I mean, they have a really good team. You know, you got John Collins, who's coming into his own, who's a great 1-2 punch for Trae. You know, you got Bogdanovich, great shooter from the Kings, you know.
Bogdan.
Like you said, Clint Capella. They had Rondo, which sucks that they don't have him anymore. You know, that would have been a great help off the bench, but they haven't really needed it. They got Lou. That's right. They got Lou Williams.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
They got. They won't let him.
What was that in the fourth quarter? 40-19.
That's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. You know, I mean, they're playing well. They're playing really well.
They are playing really, and
Gallinari,
Danilo.
Yeah, Gallinari. That's
Forgot
right.
because I remember I wanted the Celtics to sign him, and I remember he went to Atlanta, and I was like, dang, that was a good pickup for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they're looking like a team of maybe not destiny, but just like that team that surprises everyone. Because I think most people would have picked the Knicks in the first round. Like, absolutely. And then or even if the Hawks did beat them, no one would have picked the Hawks against the Sixers. Everyone assumed the Sixers would win.
Yeah.
But
they've just been really tough, man.
They won't back down. They're gonna give it their all, and they're not letting teams dictate. They're playing their own game. They're not letting the better teams, the higher seeds, the better teams. They're not letting them dictate the series. They're clearly making the series theirs, and they're taking control of the series.
Absolutely.
Without even worrying like if that's going to cause repercussions in the later rounds or later in the series. They're here, they're showing up, and they're doing the dang thing. And it'd be so funny if the Sixers got eliminated. It'd be so funny.
My guy, what's his name? Oh no, Dunn. What was his name? Dunn. Chris Dunn. From the Bulls, riding high on the bench, on the Hawks bench. I just peed that. I didn't even know.
Oh, for real?
Chris Dunn. Yeah, I didn't even see he was still on a team.
Chris Dunn. Glad to see he's still on a roster though, getting paid,
getting some money.
As he played at all the postseason, he's played 3 minutes.
3 whole minutes. That's 3
He
minutes.
played, and it was the first round. He got 1 rebound.
Big game,
good for him. Hey, good for you, Chris. At least you're getting a contract. That's all that really matters.
But yeah, man, you know, the Hawks are playing really good. Gonna see who comes out of that series. Suns against possibly the Clippers or the Utah Jazz. Another big game tomorrow, I'd assume. You know, and I don't know what by next week we'll probably know the conference finals.
Yep. Yeah, because they're a couple of game 6s and they'll be done, and then they'll probably start late next week. Probably a week week from now. Next week's show we'll know what the conference finals are. And if you think about it, by that point, I forget. I don't know what day exactly CP3 went into the protocol, but
Yesterday, I'd assume.
yesterday. So, well, they probably started sooner.
Today, the day before.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, but yeah, I still think he'll only miss like 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, hopefully.
Optimistically that he'll only miss that much because, yeah, they really. They.
Is he an expert? Do we know for sure?
But yes, it is. But thank you, Vince Carter, for being an expert. You made me lose my train of thought. You freaking
An expert at throwing us off.
Yeah,
That's what an
throwing me
expert
off.
at.
Threw off my groove.
Threw out my groove.
Sorry.
It's BossDan's new groove.
What's his name? BossDan.
That's why you didn't see BossDan. Past few weeks, he turned into a llama.
Boom, baby. What a great movie. Just love Emperor's New Groove.
I was not a big fan.
No? It's a good one.
I love the Peruvian, what's it called, references and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Peru, but yeah, no, the movie just didn't do it for me. I'm sorry.
That's devastating. You think you know a guy?
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I love Pixar movies, but Disney, like, cartoon movies never did it for me.
Really?
Dude. Only a handful. Like,
That's fair.
Lion King was cool, you feel me? It was
Everyone loved
alright.
Lion
I
King,
mean,
though.
but I wasn't like head over heels with it like everybody else. I don't know, man. Pixar is great, but all that Disney movies and stuff.
Well,
all the princess stuff.
Disney bought Pixar, I want to say in like 04, 05. So after both the first 2 Toy Stories, Bug's Life, Monsters Inc. I think Cars was one of the first Disney Pixar movies. Before
Really?
that,
I thought they were all.
no. Before it was just Pixar Studios.
Okay.
Disney eventually bought them,
But they were like working together and
but
stuff.
they were working together, and then, but yeah. So
They're like our technology. Nobody else.
they're just like, this is ours now. Disney's literally like, we want your company. That's what they're doing. It. ESPN, we want you. Marvel, we want you.
Just take this blank check.
Star Wars, we want you.
Take these blank checks, fill them out, and we'll pay it
21st
off.
Century Fox, we want you.
They got Walt Disney's casket just wide open with a pen in his hand. Just sign it here, sir.
He's actually frozen. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Him and Ted Williams are 2 of the people I know that are frozen. If we ever figure out the technology to bring them back, if we ever figure out the technology, let's bring these old racist white men back. That's the perfect people we want to bring back to our society. More racist old white men. Yeah.
We'll be watching Disney Plus content in 3047. So don't worry about it, kids. Don't worry, great grandchildren.
It'll be streamed right into your brains at that
Yeah,
point. You won't even have to
absolutely.
watch it. It'll just be.
Put that
boop,
brain
boop.
chip
I
right
just watched
there.
I just watched a whole season of a show right there.
Right there, 5 seconds. Just.
Imagine if that's what it comes to. There's just no entertainment value anymore. Literally, you just absorb things and you learn them, and that's it.
We'll be dead, so who knows? That's weird to think about. We won't be here, but find out.
Nobody lives forever, Lucius. I know that. But with my high level of income and advances in modern science, it's not crazy to think I might live to, I don't know, 245, maybe 300. That's Ricky Bobby on that quote.
I had a feeling.
Nobody lives forever, Lucius. I know
Ricky
that.
Bobby.
I know that.
Skippy Ricky Bobby.
Yes. Ricky Booby.
Indeed. Well, I'm fading out here a little bit, BossDan.
Fading out?
Is there any other topics you want to discuss about?
I want to talk about the sticky stuff in baseball, but I don't know enough of it, so I'll just talk about it briefly. Are you familiar with? So, well, I'll talk about it briefly. So basically, in the past year, how do I want to start this?
They've been putting sticky stuff on the ball.
For centuries, pitchers have been trying to find advantages on the mound to give their pitch that an extra little oomph. Like it's happened for decades. It's always been happening. Now more commonly pitchers have been using like sunscreen and like things like that just to give it like a little extra grip. And then this year, apparently a new thing was like called Stickum or something. Not Stickum, it was like Spider Tech or some. It was Spider Tech. That was one of the things that came out this year.
Spider Tech.
Which gave like a ridiculous amount of grip on people's like curves. And with the advances in technology, we're able to see like how the spin rate of the baseball is, how fast it's coming in, all the different angles, like all the physics behind each pitch.
Yeah.
So then, and while that's going on, the league average is is very low, like the lowest it has been in like 10 or 15 years. The strikeout rate is higher that it's ever been. And the league is like, how can we fix this problem? So they're just like, okay, if you get caught with sticky stuff, that's a 10-game ban.
Damn.
So then the league like shut that down. And you notice the stats showed that spin rates were down for a lot of these pitchers, and their pitches weren't as effective. And then you had other pitchers come out. Tyler Glasnow, who is a pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, a fun pitcher to watch, who's just like a freak athlete and throws his pitches weird. He has to end his season short because he has a UCL tear, which is like in the arm. And he went on like a 4-minute in his press conference on a rant, basically being like, I didn't have any help with sticky stuff, and that hurt my arm because I had to really grip the baseball harder, and I had to throw it harder, so that led to my arm being strained more. And a lot of other pitchers have been coming out saying that like it's not helpful, and it's just going to hurt the game, and it's going to hurt more pitchers because without that extra grip of sunscreen or whatever they've been using, it's going to put more strain on their elbows, which is going to cause more injuries. Now, I'm not saying every pitcher uses it. There are some pitchers like Jacob deGrom, who's arguably the best pitcher in baseball right now. Or actually, I'm not going to argue. He is the best pitcher in baseball right now. He has been, at least teammates have been saying he's never used the stuff. And I can imagine it because he's just a dominant pitcher and that's just who he is. And some others have come out and just been like, yeah, I can't be as effective without the sticky stuff. And I think it's just pitchers trying to figure out how to beat the batters, because batters are getting stronger and they're becoming more analytical as well, trying to figure out, because they're all about launch angle and figuring out the launch angle to hit the home runs and whatnot. And it's just, baseball just always loves to kick itself in the feet or kick itself backwards. They take one step forward and 3 steps back all the time, because you think they sort of make progress on something and then they just kick themselves back into later in that, or like into a bad position. And then everyone hates them again, and everyone's coming after them. So Major League Baseball is just in a very delicate state right now of player safety, player health, substances, all that sort of things. I want to read more up on it because I've only like scratched the surface of this whole substance abuse and the sticky stuff. And I mean, I think sunscreen's fine. Like, sunscreen's going to be on your body in a hot summer day anyway. Like, if you have sunscreen on your body and you go like that, like, why doesn't that? Like, if you get literal sticky stuff like this stuff called Spider Tech or Pine Tar or whatever it is, like, that's bad. But if you have sunscreen on your body and you just go like this to give you a little extra grip, like, why does that, like, that seems fine to me.
Illegal.
Like, players using sticky stuff get 10-game ban, but teams that got caught using video evidence, 0 games. How is that fair? Riddle me that. How is that fair?
Those stinking Houston Astros, those cheaters. Right?
None of those players got a game. None of them. It's ridiculous.
They shouldn't have been using that sticky stuff. That's for sure.
I just hope it doesn't lead to more injuries like Tyler Glasnow's. That's all I'm worried about. Because if it really is going to hurt pitchers, then we should just allow them to use some sticky stuff. Like, don't use literal like Spider Tech or whatever it's called. But if you want to use, I don't know if you ever seen Major League, one of the pitchers, he's always like, or if I need a little grip, I just, and he's like, yeah, I just go like that, and I give him a little snot bump. And he's like, are you serious? He's like, he's like, well, I'm older now. Like, I don't have the grip to do that, or like the crazy pitches. So like I don't know.
I remember throwing my snot balls back in Little Leagues, dog.
Back in dead ball era.
Back in the pre-COVID days, I used to throw the best snot balls.
I used to bowl the best slider on the side of the Mississippi.
They used to call me Snot-Nosed Willie.
See, baseball, and it's funny because I'm like saying baseball's in a bad position, but then on the other side, on the batting side, you have some of the best young talent being the leaders in the home run race and all these things. Which is good for the game because your young stars are proving to be the best in the game. Yeah. While Mike Trout's out with an injury and some of those guys are having injury issues. You have Fernando Tatis Jr., who's on the cover of MLB Show, having a phenomenal year. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. having a phenomenal year. Ronald Acuna Jr. having a phenomenal, like all these good guys, all these younger than 24, 25-year-olds are just taking over the league, and that's why I think baseball is still going to be fine, because the young talent is really good, and hopefully they'll figure it out with this sticky stuff situation, that they can come to a compromise where it works for everyone, because I don't want to see more pitchers getting hurt because they're not allowed to use something to give them a little bit of grip, because the baseballs apparently are just so smooth that it's hard to get any grip at all, and the seams aren't as raised as they used to be, so it's harder to get a grip, because like when the seams are raised, like literally seams are raised so young hands can get a grip and actually throw a pitch, but as you get more and more higher level, the seams are like lowered and lowered, so it becomes more of just a round ball instead of like a seamed ball, which is harder for them to throw, and they throw more specific pitches rather than just throw it over the plate, so it gets harder for these pitchers to do that. That's why they require the grip and such, because they're trying to help the batters and not screw them over, and it's just a whole mess. So I hope baseball figures it out, and I think they will eventually. But it's just in a weird period of not knowing what's legal and what's illegal, what's okay and what's not, what's right and what's wrong. So it's just in this like weird limbo right now.
Sounds like the marijuana industry.
Very true.
Save our stoners. Save our sticky stuff. Yeah. Well, no, it'll definitely be interesting, and I don't know, man. I think, especially around this time, and in this country, I think, I don't know, no matter the spectacle, I think baseball is always very exciting around this time, and then with basketball season slowly ending, hockey slowly ending, come end of June, mid-July, that's all you're really gonna have.
I mean,
baseball.
usually by this point in the year, it's just baseball. Usually by now, the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals are done.
Yeah.
Next year, they'll probably both be on regular schedule. I know the NBA already plans to be back on their normal schedule next year. But yeah, I mean, I love the period where it's just baseball, because I'm a baseball freak and I could watch baseball for hours. I know a lot of people hate it, and just as soon as basketball and hockey are over, they just like count the days till football begins, which is fair. Like, I understand it if you don't appreciate baseball. But yeah, I mean, they have plenty to talk about, which is good. Which is good for baseball that they have controversy, because it gets people to pay attention to it again.
Absolutely.
Which is I didn't even think about that until just now, that like this controversy is causing more people to actually pay attention to baseball in general. So it's good for the game.
Go out to the games 100% capacity.
100% capacity at Wrigley, and then I want to say it's next weekend that, the White Sox are opening to 100%. So
Phase 5.
Yes, sir.
Stay alive.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Any other topics?
Nope, that's all I wanted to talk about.
Well,
you got anything?
No, I don't. Well, I think we've hit everything that we've wanted to over here on Northside Plugged this evening. It's
boy.
Been a great evening being back over here, enjoying another normal Thursday over. Let me get in the picture. Another normal Thursday over here with my man's BossDan. Got a lot more content coming up, a lot more guests coming in. We should be back to normal in terms of our regularly scheduled Thursdays moving forward, barring any situations going on.
Yeah,
but
hopefully we see Justino back in here soon.
Yes, sir. Shout out Justino Cochino.
Shout out Justino. Shouts out. Yes, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Ped for chiming in for our Marvel discussion.
Absolutely.
As always, I know he loves that stuff, so I'm glad to hear his thoughts on that as we were talking that. So we'll be back next week with Young Swank.
Young Swank Sinatra.
Yes, finally.
The one and only.
The man, the myth, the man who helped us with so many graphics when we first started here at Q4.
Absolutely.
Very excited to have him in here and chop up with him and the many talents that he has.
Absolutely.
So we'll have that next week. And I want you all to have a phenomenal weekend. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy.
It's Mercury retrograde still, so be careful. It's crazy times.
I didn't know that.
Bro, I had terrible delays. My flight got canceled on the way back, and then the next morning when I was already home, I was like, damn it, it is Mercury retrograde. Like, no wonder.
It's always that stuff.
Yeah, so be careful driving, be careful going out, doing
Safe
stuff.
Travels, everyone.
Yeah, take care of yourself for sure. Eat healthy.
Yes.
Be with your family if you can, embrace those changes, because we're all going feel like the world's changing right now. You know, we're in a state of change.
Oh yes, absolutely.
You know,
It's in a weird transition,
absolutely.
and we're gonna enter another roaring 20s, apparently.
Oh, we're already here, man. I can feel it. I can feel it coming up. You know, so just gotta prepare and do the right thing, get this money. You know, and move forward.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, for Boss Dan, it's G Money G Note. Over here on Northside Plugged. Shout out Justino Cochino. Shout out to the Northside Plugged family. Everybody listening, everybody not listening.
Love you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. We love you guys. And we'll see you next week.
On Northside Plugged in Q4 Radio.
Peace.
In Chicago.
Shut down.
Your favorite city. Shut up, Boston.
BossDan.